Welcome, everybody. I am excited. I have on the show today Mark Fachler. He is the CEO and founder of Veestro. And if you haven't tried Veestro, go to Veestro.com. You will be blown away. We're talking country fried chicken. And this is all plant-based, chef-crafted, preservative-free food. And they were nice enough to send me a bunch of different samples. And it is beyond good. So today, we're going to talk to Mark and find out more about him and his company. Mark Fachler, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bert. It's great to be with you.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your background, because you have a very diverse background. I mean, you've gone from, I'm looking at this, and you have, what do you call it, an investment background. You have a background in what do you call it? You've earned a degree of arts and economics. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to Veestro.
Sure. So I'm originally from Costa Rica. I was born and raised there. Came to the States for college. I went to the University of Texas at Austin. And after graduating, I had a short stint in the advertising industry. I was working in media. After that, I moved where I wanted to go from the beginning, which was finance. So I started working at a private equity, then an investment bank. And while I was working in investment banking, that's when I started struggling with eating healthy. I was making a lot of really bad choices, and look for options out there that can help me, something that was convenient and healthy, and I couldn't find anything. So that's how Veestro was born.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so basically you had a problem, and you were thinking, okay, I got to fix this problem for myself. And is that how Veestro got started? It was just trying to solve your problem, and you realize this is a problem that a lot of us are facing?
Yeah. I was working very long hours. I was getting home at 11 p.m., midnight. All I wanted to do was eat something quick so I could go to bed. And that meant that basically frozen pizza, that was all I could eat. Or, meals from the supermarket, frozen meals from the supermarket, which, they're not very nutritious, and they lack in taste.
Yeah.
So I started putting, a business plan together. I talked to friends and family, and raised very little funds. We started with a very small commercial kitchen, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it by myself. So I reached out to my sister, who had a background in marketing and sales, and she loved the idea. She was struggling with similar issues, so she joined me, and we launched the company in 2013, so 7 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. And let me tell you, I am so impressed, because when you buy something that is plant-based, preservative-free, you're a little hesitant. But everything I've tasted, this enchilada casserole, me encantó.
Well, what we've been trying since the beginning is to make food that's not just healthy and 100% plant-based, but it needs to taste good. People,
yes.
If they see it in a picture and the picture looks beautiful, they're going to buy it. But if it's not good, they're not going to come back. And
right.
The business can survive that way.
Right. No, it was fantastic. All right. So tell us a little bit about, so here you are, you're in 2013, you have this idea. From the time that you had the idea, you talked to your friends and family, was it officially launched in 2013 then, or was it 2014?
Well, the idea came about in 2012.
Okay.
And I started putting the business together. Towards December 2012, that's when I finally was able to get some funding to get the business started. I already had a very detailed business plan. And so I started putting the company together once I received those funds, renting a commercial kitchen. In the beginning, it was only 3 employees. It was me, my sister doing marketing, and our chef, which is still our chef. He's been with us since day one.
Gotcha. All right. So you said that you reached out to friends and family first for your funding.
Correct.
Is that how you opened in 2013?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. This is a great lesson for a lot of people. There's two rules of thinking out there. A lot of people say, man, do not get your friends and family involved in your business, because if it goes bad, which a lot of them do, then, you got to deal with your friends and your family. But I believe, kind of like you believe, if I really am passionate about this business, if I believe in this business, I like to get my friends and family involved. It puts even more pressure on you to succeed, at least to succeed enough to get your friends and family paid for, right?
I agree with you. And not only that, friends and family, nobody knows you better than your friends and family. And if they believe that you can do something, if they believe that you have the capability and the skills to do it, they're going to support you.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, they, I think, are going to be honest with you and say, hey, this product didn't taste good. It had a lot of problems. Whatever. That honesty, if you are humble enough to take it, you can use it to make the product better. So when you start selling to strangers, you know that you have a good product.
Exactly right.
All right. So here you launched in 2013. Are you a subscription based?
So when we started, we weren't subscription based. I decided to do it that way because I didn't want to lock people down and to make people buy something that they didn't want to buy. That's the way I used to see subscriptions. So we started with one-off purchases. People would come in and buy whatever they want. A couple years after that, we implemented a subscription model, which was only for our weight loss plans, which we decided to launch. And the reason we did that is because we figure that if you're on a weight loss plan, you can't just eat it once. You have to keep doing it for a while to see results.
Right.
So we started with that. And then in December 2018, we decided to make a big move, and we changed the whole buying process. We made it more subscription focused. And people are loving it. It's a lot easier. They don't have to worry about going in and picking their meals and ordering every week or every 2 weeks. It's done like that. They can still change the meals whenever they want, the meals they receive, but it's a lot more simple and easier for them.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's smart. And one of the other options, not options, one of the other ideas for me with the subscription model is that it guarantees you to stay on track a lot easier, because
Correct.
Whether you're trying to lose weight or just stay healthy, you don't want to be all of a sudden a week or two without your favorite foods, because all of a sudden now you fall off the wagon or the cart, whatever it is, and you got and you start making bad choices.
Yes, it's very easy to fall back into old habits.
Yes, it is. It's terribly easy. All right, so let me put you on the spot here. How is Veestro different from other meal delivery companies out there?
Well, we're different in many ways. First of all, we only sell plant-based products. We believe since the beginning, we believe that that's the healthiest way to eat. There's different, if you want a piece of chicken, you can go anywhere. But if whether you're trying to protect animals, or you just want to eat healthy, or you're environmentally conscious, either of those reasons are reasons enough to eat plant-based. What we're trying to do since the beginning, it's not trying to convince you to become vegan. We don't believe that that's the way to do it. The mission of the company is to get everybody eating more plants, because eating more plants helps everybody, helps you, helps the planet, helps animals. Another way that we're different is that we ship our meals frozen. And the reason we do that, well, first of all, we started shipping frozen so that we could reach the whole country since day one. That's something that you cannot do with a fresh product. But the main reason is because we wanted this product to be very convenient. And when you receive meals that you're forced to eat in 3 or 4 days, or they're going to go bad, that is not that I didn't consider that extremely convenient for me, because sometimes I didn't know if I was going to go out to dinner or if I had plans to do something else. So in many cases, those meals went bad. And coming from Costa Rica and from from my background, I hate tossing food away. So by shipping frozen, people have enough time to decide when they want to eat those meals. It differs from the meals from the supermarket because we don't add preservatives. So while the meals from the supermarket can be sitting in a shelf for 6 months to a year, our meals are good for up to 8 to 10 weeks in the freezer.
Yeah, and you know what? You hit the nail right on the head. I can definitely testify that some of these, quote, fresh delivery foods, which is awesome, but sometimes by the time you even get the food, it's already going bad.
Exactly.
And so the clock starts ticking the minute it leaves their warehouse. And so sometimes you get that food and you can see, okay, some of the stuff is already going bad. I have to go to the grocery store, which is what I was trying to avoid at the beginning, and replace some of this food that's gone bad. And then, as you said, I only got 3 or 4 days to eat it. And let me tell you, everybody's busy. Even, in a perfect example, even in this lockdown quarantine situation, the restaurants are still open, and people are going there and ordering out, and we're at home. Most of us are either, we're at home, most of us anywhere at home, we're working from home, or we're not working, we're just stuck at home, and we're still eating out because we like the convenience. And so to get this food and know that, hey, I only got 2 or 3 days to consume it, or it's going to go bad. I agree with you. It didn't work for me either. So I love that about Veestro. I just, I thought it was good. One of the other things that I liked about Veestro is you had a massive selection. You had everything. One of my other favorite ones was the red curry. It was just fantastic. I enjoyed that very much. But you guys had a very large selection, which I was impressed that you would have that big of a selection. So I thought that was great.
Yeah, we offer over 50 different items at any given time. We rotate the menu. We don't really rotate the menu. We believe that people are creatures of habit. When you like something, when you find something that you like, you want to know that you can keep going back and get it.
Yes.
At the same time, we're always adding new meals, and also getting rid of meals that either don't sell well or don't get good reviews, because we want to make sure that if you're going to be with us for a while, that you like most of our selection. So we try to keep it fresh.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's smart. I mean, you keep the meals that people like and you rotate out the ones that aren't so popular. It's just smart. It's smart marketing. It's smart business. All right. So you and I were talking before the show. So you left Austin, Texas. You're now in LA. So is the company all now an LA based company?
Yes. We're based in LA. We make all our meals in LA. And we distribute them through 2 distribution facilities, one in LA and one in the East Coast.
Oh, nice. So if somebody's in the East Coast, they're going to get a pretty quick delivery.
Correct.
That's very smart. Very smart. Okay. So here we are. We're 7 years later. How many customers have you guys gotten, or how many customers you guys have now?
So we still offer one-offs. So we have a lot of customers that prefer to buy whenever they want. They just come in, then they buy, and then they may come a month later or 2 months later and buy again. And then we have our subscription customers. In total, I would say we have about 30,000 customers.
That's pretty nice.
Actively ordering.
Yeah, that's great. And what do you attribute your success to?
Well, we've been very careful on how we grow the company. We've been very lucky because we hit it in the head on a few trends that didn't exist when we started, but the market was heading that way. So that's one of the reasons. But we've been very careful on how we grow. We haven't taken in a lot of funds from investors. it's mostly friends and family who've invested in the company, and we've managed growth, very well. Some companies don't do well because they grow too fast. Others, they don't grow fast enough. We've been managing how quickly we grow, and that's helped us prepare for the increase in customers, the increase in volume.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It sounds strange to some people. It'll sound strange that a company can have problems if they grow too quick, but it does happen. It's one of those weird things. Here we go. We have Douglas Dewar. I think it's Douglas Dewar, who's a new customer 2 weeks ago. Appreciate the frozen product. Let's see. Questioning the sodium content. So he wants to know, is it necessary? Could you share some reasoning? Otherwise, I'm enjoying the plant-based recipes very much. Great product. Any thoughts on the sodium content?
Yes, and thank you for the question, and I'm glad that he's enjoying the meals. The issue with sodium is that vegetables in general, they contain a lot of sodium. So to make a plant-based meal, you're already going to have a high sodium content. In addition to that, if you just prepare vegetables with no seasoning, then you're not going to get a lot of customers. So you have to season the product. We always try to keep them balanced. We make sure that there's not a crazy amount of sodium in the meals. Part of what we're selling is a healthy meal. So a meal with 1,500, 2,000 milligrams of sodium might not be the healthiest, which is, by the way, normally what you get when you go to a restaurant. But we do try to limit it as much as possible. I believe the highest content, the highest sodium meal with the highest sodium that we offer, it's about I believe 750 or maybe 800 milligrams, which is still, it's not low, but it's not as high as when you eat out at a restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely. So sodium. To me, sodium is, like you said, it's in so much of our food products. Even a protein bar, a vegan protein bar, might have 300 or 400 or 500 milligrams of sodium in a small little bar. It's like,
well, some products use sodium for as preservatives, so that because taste, it adds more because of preservatives. We don't add preservatives, so the sodium that you get is because we're trying to make the meal taste as best as possible. Sure.
Like I said, all the meals that I've tried, just like Douglas said, have all been fantastic. I enjoyed it, and what do you call it? And I found them, as far as sodium, because it's one of the contents that I check, I found it very reasonable. Let me ask you this. Let's talk about Veestro and how your business was affected by COVID, or was it affected? Did you have a spike in growth? Talk about what happened with the COVID.
Well, COVID's been very, very challenging for everybody. It's been challenging for us in a different way. Our demand increased, but we always have to deal with issues. So, we're still working. It's food, so it's an essential business. And we had to prioritize the health of our employees. So far, we've been lucky. We haven't had any issues in the facility. And but we're always making sure that all the employees are fine. That if one person gets it, then it's very likely that more are going to get it, and we want to make sure that customers are going to be able to continue receiving their meals. So that's one of the issues that we've been dealing with. The other one is disruptions in the supply chain. We saw this coming early, so we were able to stock up on certain ingredients that we knew were going to become scarce, and and we were able to mitigate it. Every once in a while, there's a few ingredients that are really hard to find, and we have to scramble. In other cases, we've had to put some meals out of stock temporarily. But for the most part, our business hasn't been affected as much as most of the business in the country, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what, and that's some of the silver linings with COVID is that it made a lot of business owners more aware of what they were dependent on. And so I think that for a lot of business owners, it's going to help them prepare better. And I think that, before COVID, if somebody had, I don't know, let's say symptoms, might have a small cough or a runny nose, it would be okay for them to come to the office. I think now after COVID, it's going to be different. If you have a runny nose, if you have a little bit of a cough, stay home.
Yeah.
Don't come here. We don't know what you might have.
That's exactly right. And as you can imagine, that makes it challenging to run a business because you may lose a big chunk of your workforce in just a few days. Absolutely.
All right. So your chef from the U.S.? Is your chef from Belize? How did you hook up and meet your chef?
So our chef is originally from Bolivia. He's lived most of his life in the U.S., but he was born and raised in Bolivia and Argentina. He grew up as a vegetarian, which is very rare in South America.
Yeah.
But because his parents were vegetarians, and his mom used to cook at home, then he was always interested in cooking. So he learned a lot from his mother, and some of our recipes are his mother's recipes.
Oh, that's nice. That's very good. Oh man! So is it still your sister still involved? Is she still in charge of marketing?
Yeah, my sister's still involved. She manages marketing and customer service. You asked earlier about one of the reasons why we've been successful, and it's because we roll our sleeves. We do everything, and since the beginning, just a few years ago, Monica, my sister, and I, we used to get in the freezer and pick orders and ship them to the customers. We've done pretty much every single part of the business except for cooking, which neither of us is really good at it. Trust me, you don't want us to be in the kitchen.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. But that's smart. I mean, the business, every detail of the business, and that's very smart.
Yes. You know how to do everything, and then also when you ask things from employees, you want to make sure that are things that can be done. And when I ask them for something, I know it can be done because I've done it myself.
Yes. And you can say that, hey, I've done it. I know it can be done. So be quiet and go do it. All right. So out of the 50, meals or so that you have, do you have a favorite meal that you like?
Yes, I think my favorite is one of your favorites. It's the country fried chicken.
Yes.
And it's really interesting because when we first, that's one of the first meals that we launched in the first set of meals when the company was launched, and it wasn't selling very well. It took I'd say over a year for people to start buying it, and I refused to get rid of it because it was always my favorite. And I'm happy that we kept it because now it's one of the best selling meals.
Yeah. And you know what? It is a very filling meal too. It's when people hear fried chicken and what do you call it, vegan, it messes with their head.
Exactly.
But you have to use those terms because that's what we're most familiar with. But I loved it. That was one of my favorite meals. You're absolutely right. It's a big meal. High in protein. I loved it. I thought it was great. And Douglas, it's the best, Douglas says. Good.
Well, That's a very important meal for us. We have two types of meals. We have meals that we call meals for professional vegans and vegetarians, and we have what we call gateway meals. The country fried chicken is a gateway meal because somebody that's never had a vegan meal, and in their mind, a vegan meal would be, steamed vegetables or a salad.
Right.
They try something like this, which is more what they're used to eating. And if they like it, and they're gonna say, wait a second, I'm eating this that tastes just like what I eat on a daily basis, then
Right.
I'll be able to I might like some other things, and they try other things.
Yeah. Well, you know what? So I just got I did a checkup with my doctor, and I've always worked out. I've always eaten really good. But I want to say a couple of years ago, when I say a couple of years ago, I guess 3 or 4 years ago, my cholesterol was like at 250, which is considered high. And I was really annoyed by that because, like I said, I always work out. I always eat well. Well, because of that, the doctors immediately want to put you on some kind of drug to reduce the cholesterol. So I started doing some research. And the more I looked into vegetarianism and vegan, it seemed like it was the way to go. And the more you do that research, you realize that as humans, we are naturally made to consume a vegetarian or vegan type of lifestyle. That's why we have the teeth that we have. That's why, it's difficult for our bodies to process a lot of meat because that's what the cholesterol that builds up in there. So I don't care whether you're eating, super clean meat. I don't care if it's fish or lean, turkey, chicken, whatever. It's still going to build cholesterol. And back to what I was saying. So this started me on my journey. And the more I got into being a vegan, really, because I haven't had dairy in probably 10 years, but my cholesterol kept dropping and kept dropping and kept dropping. As of 2 weeks ago, when I went and saw my doctor, my cholesterol without any medication is now 97. So from 250 to 97, it took like 4 years, but that was all diet, no medication. That was just getting off the massive amount of animal flesh that I was consuming.
Yeah, we like to see food as preventive medicine.
Yes.
If you eat the right things through your life, you're going to live a much healthier life, and vegetables help you accomplish that.
Absolutely, absolutely. My only fear is that because there seems to be a shift, and people are eating more vegetables. As we start to consume more and more vegetables, you'll see these big conglomerates come in, and they'll start trying to grow broccoli, like they do the chicken, right? Hey, we got to get this broccoli to 6 pounds in 6 days, and
let's pump it full of hormones.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And one of the good things, again, one of the silver linings about COVID is you would go to the grocery store, and basically there would be tons of fruits and vegetables that looked like they were untouched. And then all the other food was like gone, right? I mean, all the meats were gone. What I call unhealthy food was all gone. All the
processed stuff, yeah.
And my wife and I would just go through the vegetables and the fruits, and man, it was great. We never ran out of food. Never had to worry about it.
Yeah, well, it's about convenience, and it's about making sure that you're putting the right things in your body.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, so Veestro, let's talk about this. How did you come up with the name Veestro?
Well, it's a funny story. I originally intended to call it something else, and I started trying to get the URL and trademarking the company. The name that I had was already trademarked, and I couldn't find a URL that was close enough. And I didn't want to do a compound URL. So about a week before I had to launch the company, I started trying to think of different names, and I just figured, Veestro could be, vegan or vegetarian bistro. Well, let's call it Veestro. And I didn't really have that much time to think about it. We just launched it like that. I figured that if I didn't like it down the road, that I could always change it. It stuck.
No, it's a great name. I mean, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan and you hear the word bistro, you get it immediately. At least I did. I thought it was a great name, and I thought, man, this is, it sounds like bistro, but it's got that emphasis on the V. So it's Veestro. I love it. I think it's great, and a name is very important. It's memorable, and it's easy to spell, which is important.
Yes. Yeah, easy to remember, and if you remember easily, it's going to be easier for you to find the website.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, all right. So let's go back to launching the product. Or here you are. You're about to launch this. So when you launched Veestro, did you immediately quit your job? Did you have your job for a while? Talk about that transition from employee to entrepreneur.
Oh, I went all in. Once I got the idea, and I put together a business plan, and I raised some funds. The moment I received the funds from friends and family, I quit my job and started working 100% on this.
Gotcha.
I had no choice.
Yeah.
I had people trusting me. This couldn't be a part-time endeavor, so I just went all in. Same with my sister. For my sister, it was a little bit easier because she was a stay-at-home mom at the time. And I knew that she was dying to go back to work. But for me, it was a risk. I had no income for a while. But I figured that, worst case scenario, this could be a good lifestyle business. Best case scenario, we can hit it out of the park. And I think we've been very lucky.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think a lot of that luck comes from the hard work that you did. I mean, when you burn that bridge and say, okay, I'm in it 100%, it becomes all consuming. You're thinking about it 24/7, and you're trying to move the numbers and fix this. And it's a little bit here and a little bit there, and you keep moving. And of course, we cannot discount Monica. It was perfect that she was a stay-at-home mom and she could help without necessarily, changing her life too much and putting a lot of pressure on the company. So that was very lucky.
Oh yeah.
So now, is Monica here in the U.S.? Is she there in L.A. or is she back home? Where is she at?
Monica lives here in L.A.
Okay.
Up until recently, she used to come to the office. Now she works from home.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the great thing about marketing is you can do that.
Yeah.
That is a lifestyle business. You can do that from any phone, any computer, any place that you have internet access. Marketing can be done. As opposed to cooking, you can only do that from a kitchen.
Yes. Yeah, so we sent customer service and marketing to work from home, and operations stayed here.
Gotcha. Okay, and so you mentioned several times that you immediately, when you got your funding, you started with a commercial kitchen right away. What were some of the benefits of starting with a commercial kitchen right away?
So a lot of people, they start with they rent a kitchen and, they start doing work, a little bit of work here and there. That's usually people that are starting part-time businesses to see if it works. I'd say
Right.
Most people do that. If it works, then they can quit their job and do it. Like I said, I went all in, so I couldn't just do a part-time business. I knew that if I needed it to grow fast, then I need to have the infrastructure to grow fast. It's not that we had a huge infrastructure. Our first kitchen was about a 1,200 square foot space that included kitchen, office, and storage space, which is tiny, in the back of a used car dealership here in Los Angeles. And we were there for the first 3 years. Towards around the second year, we started outgrowing the place. I started looking for a bigger place, and I found one just in time. It took us about 6 months to fix it up. But our second kitchen, our current kitchen, is a 20,000 square foot facility. So we went from 1,200 to 20,000.
Yeah, that's a good jump in growth. And at that 20,000 square foot kitchen, is that good for the next 5 years, or are you going to run out of kitchen pretty soon?
Well, we're already running out of kitchen.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, so we're working on the next step, which is expanding our current kitchen to basically doubling its size. So we're expecting that in the next 6 months it's going to be 40,000 square feet.
Nice, nice. All right, so if somebody wants to go and order at Veestro, they go to Veestro.com?
Yes, Veestro.com. There's different ways to order. You can order one time, you can subscribe, you can pick whatever you want, you can take recommendations, and it's very easy and very quick. So I just lost my light.
Motion sensor?
Yes. It's very easy, quick, and it's delicious. You gotta try it.
Yeah, and you know what? And I do agree with you. It is everything that I've tried at Veestro has been very delicious. It's all been good. The delivery was fast. It is, to me, definitely has been a pleasure working with Veestro. Just again, between the selection and the quality, I found it to be awesome. I can go to the store and buy frozen vegan meals, but when you look at all the preservatives and stuff that's added in there, you're like, I might as well get it from you guys.
Also think about this. It's mostly vegetables in those meals.
Right.
If they're in the supermarket, that means that in the frozen food aisle, that means that they've been sitting in the freezer for at least a few months, and who knows, maybe
a year.
Maybe a year.
Yeah, yeah.
So, even frozen vegetables deteriorate.
Sure. And a lot of people don't understand that. The reason that these meals last a year is because of the high level of preservatives that they have to put in there. Yep. Otherwise, they'd have to charge you more because they have to. Their product would turn over faster.
Exactly right.
All right, Mark, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I wish you continued success at Veestro.com. Say hello to Monica, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Bert, it was great talking to you, and stay safe.
All right, you too, man. Thank you so much.